Through self-reflection, we can incorporate our learning and experiences with the development of our mind and body as one sound being. I achieve my personal reflection through art. What you're looking at is a speed drawing. Essentially, I recorded my computer screen while drawing this and I sped up the video. I really wish I could draw that fast. When drawing, I become overwhelmed with a very unique interpretation of life. I firmly believe that art is everywhere. I find people very easily overlook their surroundings. They don't take the time to pause and embrace the world that's been created around them by artists. Your car, your home, the lines on the road, the chairs you sit in, and the phone in your hand. Everything that's been made has had an artistic input in its creation. There's billions of factors that make life as fulfilling as it is, and you have no perception or awareness to. It's kind of mind-blowing if you think about it. At this time in my life, I'm exploring the field of illustration. Specifically, I would love to create stories for video games or movies, shows, comics, or whatever may come from storyboard writing and character design. I rely on the emotions and connections I can make through narratives. Being able to play these games or to connect with the characters in these stories allows me to experiment with my own emotional perception in any given social context. I have multiple psychological disabilities, and I've always been an advocate for the awareness of them. Understanding social interactions just never worked out the way it seemed to for others around me. It was so easy for them, I just didn't relate. I still don't fully comprehend socializing, but I guess practice makes perfect. Being able to create my art and take my own time developing these connections is very important. It's personal and sometimes cathartic. As an artist, you can work for others and with a group, or work as a freelancer and be commissioned to make something. Either way, there are thoughts and ideas you'd have to illustrate and express through the art. The brain is a powerful organ. The mind is a separate being all on its own. We can say we understand ourselves, but do we really? There's too much complexity that we can't even fathom, and now I have to understand the endless parcels of another human mind and express their thoughts and ideas into an image? Well, damn, sign me right up. From mind to paper, I explore the emotional connection that one can make with art. Whether it's through the process of making it or by telling a story with the colors or context of the piece, I want to be able to communicate my thoughts, emotions, and curiosity in my work. Through art unhinged or aggressively controlled, I want to display the minds of the many. Our individual ideas and emotions matter, and not everyone has the ability to express them. Visually, I hope I can not only present the ideas of the world in which I live in, but also help others to see the untouchable. I want to create life with my art, meaning, purpose. Now, working with others is hard for me, and that doesn't mean I can't work well with others. In fact, I love working with other people. I want nothing more than to belong amongst others, to get to know them and embrace their interests and feelings as well. The kind of connection you can make with another being is a very sacred and almost youthful product of socialization and the brain's development over the centuries. I'm just a little slow, but that's okay. It's important to take our time, to learn at our own pace. Actually, it's crucial in my opinion to take 2 steps back rather than 2 steps forward. It helps to understand the world around us when we take our time. Observe and you'll be able to see the unseeable, the invisible, and at most the unpredictable. With practice, we can learn to see what we aren't expecting to see, or better yet, further enhance our abilities to interpret what we see, to deconstruct its meaning, and find a stationary purpose at its base. We all have different stories. It's important for me to explore that in my art. I created a formula for myself, but if you find this tool useful, then I encourage you to utilize it. BBI/LLD. Break the brain ice and learn as life does. In order to overcome our own insecurities, our inability to formulate a functioning understanding of a scenario, or to perceive the environment in a well-rounded point of view, we must break the brain ice. With time, due to preformed cultural or tribal habits, in our own personal traits, one subconsciously begins to learn and store information, emotions, and feelings in a specific way, some which may be hindering us to push past our failures and prevents us from furthering our success in our careers, or may keep us from living life to its fullest. On the other hand, the activity of our society won't cease to continue just because you're learning to interpret life in a more constructive and specified way. Life continues on without you, so we must keep up with it. No one knows everything. We all have something to learn from one another. This can be explored through learning as life does. We must continue to be curious, to be actively aware of the change that occurs around us, no matter how subtle or hidden or bold or blatant this change may be. The day will continue, and we cannot prevent what has yet to happen, but we can learn to prepare for what may happen. I find it vital to actively participate in searching for these markers in life. How do we need to form our thoughts to improve our performance and perception? How do we change and continue to grow as the days go on? Take this concept and put it together. The ultimate tool would be finding some form of BBI/LLD or vice versa. Whichever comes first isn't entirely a big deal, but for me it helps to categorize which concept has more meaning and weight to it. BBI is a personal reflection and maintenance, while LLD is a theoretical perception of social interaction. A working structure lives as one mindful entity, where our brains learn through relationship building, emotional engagement, support, safety, and intuitive communication. To be aware of oneself and others' individual stories and perspectives, tribal methods of learning and support of one another will improve. This type of emotional strength is built outside of working on an art project and involves expanding our social networks. I hope by creating art of the vast lives of characters and their social complexity, I can evoke emotion and provide inspiration to help others continue learning. I can use my body and mind to regulate my emotion in order to comprehend social interactions around me. By communicating perspectives and assembling illusions through my art, to immersing an individual into these narratives, I will have potentially intruded the player's illusions and will help them develop cognitive skills to become more aware of their own illusions of behaviors in social environments. The forms of visual context that develop in my imagination are strictly mine, even if I am able to express these thoughts and ideas through physical art. Whether I have a good day or a bad day, the perfect day or the worst day, I can come back home and become situated in an area which is safe for me. I can create art with meaning or without any directional purpose at all. I could feel unable to make art for a few days, months, or a year, but I will still be able to visualize a world unlike anyone has ever seen before. That is because it is my world. Remember how I said everything that's been made has been made with some form of artistic input in its creation? Well, we can work together to innovate and create such amazing things. But there's something else that I feel people in the field of art are starting to forget about. Everything is about you. It's about ourselves and how we connect with our work, no matter what kind of career you go into. You'll always be the most important part of making your life what it is.